You are dying in a cage of your own certainties. That comfortable, static belief that your intelligence, your talent, and your worth were decided at birth is the most sophisticated form of self-sabotage ever devised. We treat our potential like a museum exhibit, something to be admired but never touched, a fixed set of artifacts that we can only preserve, never expand. But the universe doesn't operate in stone, it operates in mist and flow. To believe you are just not good at this is not a statement of fact, it is a confession of a closed mind. If you are waiting for the permission of your genetics before you attempt to grow, you are already decomposing in the garden of the mediocre. Imagine a river that has decided it is a lake. It stops moving, it stops carving the earth, and it begins to stagnate. That is the fixed mindset. It is the ego's attempt to protect itself from the perceived humiliation of being a beginner. We are terrified of the not knowing, so we cling to the already known until it suffocates us. But the secret to a life of consequence, as MotivationCode suggests, is the radical acceptance that your brain is not a finished sculpture, but a piece of wet clay on a spinning wheel. The centrifugal force of your effort is what gives it shape. If you aren't willing to be a fool for a season, you will never be a master for a lifetime. The neuroscience of the soul tells a story of constant, quiet revolution. Every time you struggle with a difficult concept, every time you push through the fog of confusion, your brain is physically remapping itself. This is neuroplasticity, the physiological proof that you are designed for change. When you say, "I can't do this," you are lying to your own biology. Your neurons are waiting for the signal to fire, for the demand of the struggle to force them into new configurations. The discomfort you feel when you are learning something new isn't the sound of your failure, it is the sound of your boundaries expanding. You don't need more talent, you need more friction. The Zen masters understood a truth that modern psychology is only beginning to quantify. The obstacle is the teacher. In the garden of the mind, the most resilient plants are not those that have never seen a storm, but those that have learned to bend with the wind. A growth mindset is not about trying harder in a state of desperation. It is about the quiet, relentless application of curiosity. It is the transition from "I am a failure" to "I am an experimenter who has just discovered a way that doesn't work." This subtle pivot is the difference between a life of chronic anxiety and a life of infinite possibility. But here is the logical pivot that most people miss. We are taught that growth is a linear climb toward a peak of perfection. This is a dangerous hallucination. Growth is more like a spiral. You return to the same challenges, the same fears, the same inadequacies, but you return to them with a slightly more refined set of tools. If you expect to reach a point where everything is easy, you have fundamentally misunderstood the contract of existence. MotivationCode considers the pursuit of ease to be the most common trap for those seeking greatness. The goal is not to have fewer problems. The goal is to be capable of solving higher quality problems. Consider the power of the word "yet." It is a three-letter linguistic atomic bomb that destroys the walls of the fixed mindset. I don't understand this yet. I'm not successful yet. This single word introduces the dimension of time into your self-evaluation. It transforms a terminal diagnosis into a temporary condition. Most people live in the now of their inadequacies, but the growth-minded individual lives in the becoming of their potential. You are a work in progress, and the progress is the work. If you remove the yet, you remove the horizon. Why are you so afraid of being seen trying? The ego wants to be perceived as a natural, as someone who just has it. This is a defense mechanism designed to hide the vulnerability of the struggle. But the natural is a myth,
sold by those who want to feel superior without doing the work. Every masterpiece was once a mess. Every expert was once a disaster. When you hide your effort, you are hiding your growth. You are trying to present a finished product to a world that only respects the process. To overcome the fear of the struggle, you must first divorce yourself from the outcome.
In the silence of a Zen temple, there is a concept called Shoshin, or beginner's mind. It is the state of being completely open, completely devoid of preconceptions, even if you are an expert. The moment you think you know, you stop growing. The moment you think you are, you stop becoming. A fixed mindset is a heavy suitcase of past accomplishments that you are dragging into the future. It is a burden that prevents you from running. To adopt a growth mindset is to drop the suitcase. It is to approach every day with the question, what can this moment teach me that I am too arrogant to see?
Most of us are addicted to the hit of dopamine that comes from being right. We seek out environments that validate what we already know and avoid situations that challenge our competence. But validation is the enemy of evolution. If everyone in the room agrees with you, you are in the wrong room. If every task you perform is easy, you are wasting your life. MotivationCode recommends that you should actively seek out the zone of proximal development, that uncomfortable space where your skills are just slightly below the requirements of the task. That is the only place where the soul actually expands. The architecture of dread is often built on the foundation of what if I'm not good enough. But good enough is a static measurement in a dynamic world. You aren't good enough for the version of yourself that exists 10 years from now, and that is exactly as it should be. The fear of inadequacy is just the growing pains of your potential. When you feel that cold, hollow thrumming in your chest because you are out of your depth, don't run from it. That feeling is the indicator that you are finally doing something that matters. You are finally pushing against the edges of your cage. Think about the physics of a breakthrough. A seedling doesn't grow by asking the soil for permission. It grows by exerting a quiet, relentless pressure against the darkness until the darkness breaks. We want the certainty of the sun before we commit to the struggle of the sprout. But biology doesn't work that way. The strength is built in the pushing, not in the seeing. If you are waiting for the how-to guide to feel comfortable before you take the leap, you are fundamentally misunderstanding the nature of life. The leap is what creates the comfort. There is a specific kind of silence that happens after a failure. It is a vacuum that most people fill with shame and excuses. But that silence is actually a laboratory. It is the space where you can dissect the disaster and find the data for your next attempt. Failure is only a permanent state if you refuse to learn from it. Otherwise, it is just a tuition payment for your future success. The growth mindset doesn't enjoy failure, but it respects it. It understands that failure is the most honest advisor you will ever have. It tells you exactly where your boundaries are, so you can start moving them. We often talk about self-improvement as if we are fixing a broken machine. But you are not a machine. You are an ecosystem. You don't fix a garden, you cultivate it. You provide the right conditions, the right thoughts, the right habits, the right challenges, and the growth happens as a natural consequence. You cannot force the bloom, but you can tend the soil. A growth mindset is the act of tending the soil of your own mind. It is the realization that the fruit is the result of the root. If you focus on the outcome, you ignore the source. The world doesn't reward the talented. It rewards the persistent. Talent is a head start, but persistence is the entire race. We have a cultural obsession with the overnight success, but those stories are always edited for maximum drama. Behind every overnight breakthrough is a decade of invisible struggle. Behind every effortless performance is 1,000 hours of grinding effort. When you envy someone else's talent, you are envying the result of a process you were too afraid to start. Motivation Code considers this envy to be a signal that you are neglecting your own capacity for transformation.
Consider the Japanese concept of kintsugi, the art of repairing broken pottery with gold. The philosophy is that the piece is more beautiful for having been broken. Your failures and the struggles they led to are the cracks in your history. If you try to hide them, you remain fragile. But if you fill those cracks with the gold of wisdom and persistence, you become a work of art. The version of you that has never struggled is a shallow, uninteresting person. The version of you that has failed, learned, and adapted is someone worth knowing.
We have a pathological obsession with comfort in the modern age. We have removed almost every physical threat from our lives, but in doing so, we have made our psychological threats feel monumental. Because we no longer have to worry about predators, we worry about being wrong. We have shrunk our world so much that the smallest pebbles look like mountains. To adopt a growth mindset, you must expand your world. You must put yourself in situations where your trivial worries are eclipsed by the actual stakes of your development.
There is a paradoxical truth at the heart of human psychology. The more you try to avoid pain, the more sensitive you become to it. By shielding yourself from the things that challenge you, you are making yourself more vulnerable, not less. You are lowering your threshold for reality. This is why the most comfortable people are often the most anxious. They have no calluses on their souls. They haven't built the resilience that comes from standing in the wind. If you want to be truly resilient, you must stop seeking protection and start seeking exposure.
Confidence is not the prerequisite for action. It is the result of action. You don't get confident and then start your journey. You start your journey, survive the first month of terror, and then, and only then, do you start to feel confident. The fear is the entry fee. If you aren't willing to pay it, you don't get to play the game. The growth mindset is the willingness to be incompetent for as long as it takes to become capable. It is the discipline of the mundane, the willingness to do the boring, difficult work when no one is watching.
What if your weaknesses are actually your greatest assets in disguise? A weakness is just a signal that there is a specific area of your life that requires more attention and more growth. If you were perfect at everything, you would have no direction. Your inadequacies are the compass that points to your next breakthrough. Instead of trying to hide your flaws, look at them directly. They are the map of your potential. If you follow the struggle, you follow the purpose.
The final reveal of the growth mindset is this. It is not a technique you use to get what you want. It is a way of being that transforms what you want. When you stop chasing the validation of being good and start chasing the experience of becoming better, the world changes. Success is no longer a destination you reach. It is a byproduct of the person you are becoming. The abyss of the unknown is only scary until you realize you can build a bridge, and the bridge is built out of the very stones that your fixed mindset tried to use to wall you in. Stop waiting for the fear of being not good enough to go away. It is never going away as long as you are growing. It is the shadow cast by your own potential. If you have no fear of failure, you have no shadow, which means you aren't standing in the light of a big enough goal. Embrace the shaking hands of the beginner. Embrace the confusion of the learner. These are the signs that you are alive, that you are relevant, and that you are standing on the edge of something that matters. Motivation Code reminds us that the only thing to truly fear is a life spent in the gray twilight of safety, where you never know the thrill of the hunt or the glory of the climb.
True discipline is the ability to command yourself to grow when every cell in your body is screaming for you to stay small and safe. It is the sovereignty of the will over the biology of fear.
You are not your past, and you are not your current limitations. You are the observer who decides which direction to move. When your ego says stop, we might look stupid. You have the power to say noted, but we are growing anyway. This is the ultimate form of human freedom. It is the ability to choose your evolution.
In the end, we are all just stories we tell ourselves. Most people tell a story of, I was born this way and I can't change. They cast themselves as a finished product in a world that is still in flux. But you have the power to edit that story. You can cast yourself as the protagonist in a legend of relentless transformation. You can make your effort the catalyst for your greatness. The path is created by the walking. The strength is created by the struggle. And the hero is created by the refusal to remain static. Look at the horizon. It is vast, it is uncertain, and it is beautiful. It represents everything you don't know yet. You can look at it with dread, or you can look at it with the hunger of a conqueror. The difference is not in the horizon, it is in the eyes of the beholder. Open your eyes, take a breath, feel the weight of your potential, and then, for the love of everything that is possible, grow. The universe doesn't wait for those who are ready, it rewards those who are moving. Every great achievement in human history was preceded by a moment of profound doubt and a mountain of failed attempts. The light bulb wasn't a spark of genius, it was the 10,000th attempt of a man who refused to be defined by his mistakes. The masters don't have fewer failures, they have more. They have just learned to see those failures as the data points of their destiny. They didn't solve the problem of growth, they lived through it.
The final reveal is that there is no other side to growth. There is only a higher level of play. As you overcome the limitations of your current mindset, you enter the challenges of the next. Life is a game of upgrading your struggles. If you aren't struggling right now, you aren't playing a big enough game. The goal isn't to be comfortable. The goal is to be capable of handling higher levels of intensity. The growth mindset is the realization that the journey is the destination, and a destination is infinite.